Hi, I'm Becky Streepy from Glue and Glitter, and today we're making mini loaded baked potatoes. Y'all, I first made this recipe over 10 years ago for a vegan potluck that I was going to, and they were such a hit. They vanished almost immediately, and I thought, why not finally shoot a video for them? So here we are. These mini loaded baked potatoes use a base of a crispy baked potato round, and you pile on vegan sour cream and bacon and top it all off with green onions. If those baked potato toppings aren't your favorite, that's totally fine. You can mix them up and use whatever baked potato toppings speak to you. The only thing that I do suggest is that you do want something kind of, I'm gonna say sticky, even though that's not probably the best word, but the sour cream is kind of the glue that makes the bacon and the green onion stick to the potato. So if you're not gonna use the sour cream, that's fine. Maybe use a little dollop of vegan queso or something. You just want something on there to hold all of the toppings in place so that when you pick up a potato round, everything doesn't just tumble off onto the platter. So what we're going to do is get those potato rounds into the oven, and while they're baking up to crispy perfection, we're gonna make all of the toppings that are going on top of them. Start with 2 russet potatoes, and you want to slice those up into 1/4-inch thick pieces, and you want to aim for 24 slices of potato. If you need to bring another potato into the mix to do that, that's fine. Really, it depends on the size of your potatoes. As you can see, mine were kind of on the small side, and I did end up having to use a little bit of a 1/3 potato to get 24 slices. What's super important when you're slicing your potatoes is that you keep them a uniform size. You don't have to get out a ruler and make sure they're a 1/4-inch thick, but you do want to make sure that you don't have skinny slices and fat slices, because those are going to have very different baking times, and you'll end up with some burnt pieces and some that are undercooked. So just more important than the width itself is the uniformity of width from slice to slice. So just take your time and slice these up. Then throw them onto a greased baking sheet and spray them with spray oil. Just like a little light coating is all you need. And then sprinkle on a little bit of salt and pepper. Then before you bake them, flip the potato slices over, spray the other side with oil as well, and sprinkle with more salt and pepper. Now throw these in the oven at 400, and they're gonna bake for 25 to 30 minutes, and that really depends on the thickness of your potato slices. While the potatoes are baking, let's cook up that bacon. I'm using packaged vegan bacon. You can really use any vegan bacon you like. If there's a homemade recipe that you like, go for it. If there is a store-bought brand that you prefer, use that. Totally up to you. All you want is that smoky, sweet, bacony flavor. Slice your bacon up into 24 bite-sized pieces. That'll probably take you between 4 and 6 pieces of bacon to get those 24 pieces. It really just depends on how big your strips of bacon are, right? Because you might be using a different brand. The brand I'm using had smaller strips, so I used 6 pieces. Now grab yourself a frying pan, and over medium-high heat, heat up 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I know, but bacon, conventional bacon, is a greasy food, and I have found that the best way to make vegan bacon sort of approximate that greasy, salty, smoky, sweet animal bacon is to use a lot of oil. If you want to keep the oil to a minimum, you can use just oil spray in your pan. It's just going to be a different experience eating it. So totally do what works best for you. I'm using 2 tablespoons of oil, but there's no need to yell at me. Just use as little or as much oil as you want. Saute it up until it's really nice and crisp. You don't want to burn it, obviously, but I cook these pieces a little bit longer than I would if I were making bacon to go along with a tofu scramble or something. You want it really nice and crispy. Once the bacon is nice and crisp, transfer it to a plate with a paper towel on it. That's going to let any excess grease kind of drain off, and you'll see also if you did use the full 2 tablespoons of oil, there's a lot of oil left in the pan too, so it's not like you're eating all of that oil. I know I'm kind of over-explaining about the oil, but people love to yell at me when I cook with oil, so I feel like I'm trying to head that off by doing this. Is it working? Let me know. So drain your vegan bacon. You might even get in there with another paper towel and blot it. You don't want it dripping with oil, you just want it to be nice and greasy, like conventional bacon. And then set that aside until your potatoes are done. You'll probably even have some time left now to chop up the green onions before the potatoes come out of the oven. When the potatoes come out of the oven, transfer them to a large plate that you've either lined with paper towel or with a clean kitchen towel. You just want to get any excess oil off of the potatoes because you don't want them to be greasy. So arrange them on that plate and then get in there with either another clean kitchen towel or more paper towel and just blot them a little bit to get off any excess oil. After you blot your potatoes, it is assembly time. So transfer them into a single layer on your serving platter, and then top each one with a little dollop of vegan sour cream. Then add a slice of vegan bacon to each one. Then sprinkle those chopped green onions on top of the whole dish. Aren't they pretty? I hope that this video has answered all of your questions about how to make these mini loaded baked potatoes. If you have any questions that I didn't address, feel free to drop a comment. I am always happy to help. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. Happy cooking!